Good morning, welcome to Catex TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Tuesday, May 19th, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to Catex TV. Media reports are saying that there was a huge explosion in the Afghan capital of Kabul about 3 hours ago. The Afghani Interior Ministry is now confirming that there was a blast. They're not giving any other details. The explosion apparently occurred in a car parking lot of the Justice Ministry, which is very near one of Kabul's busiest commercial sectors. Reporters at the scene are saying that ambulances and police cars, multitudes of them, are taking wounded people to the hospital. Windows in buildings surrounding the Justice Ministry and the Justice Ministry have been completely shattered. No group has yet claimed responsibility for this blast, but it's likely that it's the Taliban. Meanwhile, not too far from there in Iraq, over the weekend, ISIL forces overtook the city of Ramadi in Anbar province. This was a big defeat for the Iraqi army and for the American-led coalition. Residents continue to flee from Ramadi toward Baghdad. Now, of course, surrounding the area, in addition to ISIL, are about 25,000 Shia militia who are now in place to retake the city from the Sunni, mainly Sunni-composed ISIL group. This is beginning to send a bit of a disturbing message to some of the people in the area who are Sunni Muslims, who many feel have been somewhat liberated by the arrival of ISIL, but now, of course, the Shia in the area. ISIL attempted to move beyond Anbar yesterday, to move beyond Ramadi yesterday, but they were met by the Shia militia and they had to pull back. This is going to continue to become a more confusing situation, and it may be that we have a repeat of what happened last fall when ISIL begins to close in on Baghdad and the Americans are forced to intervene yet again. Some interesting reports are coming out in the reinsurance sector indicating that the Bermudian insurer Arch has made a number of so-called friendly approaches to acquire rival Axis Capital in recent years. Axis, of course, has been in the news lately because of their effort to merge with Partner Re. Partner Re now being the subject of a takeover by the Agnelli-led Exor Group. Sources are saying that Arch, which is led by Dinos Iordanou, has had a long-standing interest in taking over Axis and has tried to persuade it to enter into discussions on a number of occasions. It's understood that one of the approaches came in the summer of 2012 after the Axis company founder John Charman was ousted as chairman of the board. Also, in Axis's documentation that was filed in connection with the Partner Re acquisition, the company disclosed that it had received a takeover approach last summer. Sources are saying that under the leadership of both Charman and his successor Albert Benchimol, Axis has had no interest in selling out to Arch. Of course, now speculation says that could change dramatically if Axis is unable to close on its proposed $6.5 billion acquisition of Partner. If that's the case, Axis is going to be armed with a $300 million breakup fee that they're going to get from Partner, but it's going to essentially put them into play. So in this point, it seems as if we might see a revival of an Arch pursuit of Axis. Although, again, this is all speculation. Nobody's confirming anything. What people are confirming is that the space market in London is set to absorb now one of the biggest losses ever after a Mexican communications satellite that was launched on a Proton M rocket malfunctioned. The main placement was handled by the broker Marsh. It has a $389 million limit, but sources are saying that there are top-up covers that could take the total loss beyond $400 million. The biggest line on the cover for the MEXSAT-1 satellite is believed to belong to Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway, which would absorb $50 million of the loss. AIG is understood to have a line of about $35 million. There are other major lines following them, including Swiss Re and Allianz. A massive landslide tore through a ravine in northwest Colombia early Monday morning, killing 56 people. Most residents were sleeping when the landslide struck the municipality of Salgar around 3 a.m. on Monday, burying a large area in mud and debris. Aerial images show a broad river of mud that had inundated a large area, dragging houses, trees, and cars along with it. And the lawsuits have begun in the Amtrak accident. 4 passengers on the train that derailed last week in Philadelphia in an incident that killed 8 people have filed a federal lawsuit yesterday citing serious and disabling injuries. According to Reuters, the lawsuits that were brought were the first by the passengers. On Friday, an Amtrak employee brought a lawsuit. 4 passengers who filed the lawsuits include 2 cousins from Spain, and 2 others were Americans. Amtrak resumed service yesterday morning. The 5:30 a.m. southbound train left New York City. Of course, it didn't leave until 6:07 a.m., and it arrived in Philadelphia about 30 minutes behind schedule. That's probably about right for Amtrak. Meanwhile, the investigation is still focusing on why the train was speeding at 106 miles per hour in an area where the speed limit was 50 miles an hour. The engineer apparently is cooperating completely. Friends of the engineer are saying that there's no one safer. He's the one you'd want to be your engineer. And investigators are still looking into reports that the windshield was cracked and may have been hit by a projectile of some kind. Although, as of yesterday, this is being downplayed. So, frankly, nobody quite knows exactly what happened. And the engineer cannot remember anything after he went through the North Philadelphia station. So, more will yet be revealed. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.